welcome to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. I'm Debbie Georgiani with Jerry Usher, and definitely you today. We know you're going to have something to say about this. How do we know that? Well, when we were preparing for this show, we were thinking about all the times that texting has gone wrong for us. And so that is the topic today. The title is Texting Gone Wrong? Now what? What do you do when you hit that send button and you can't pull it back and it's out there to that person and you didn't want it to be? So let's talk about this texting protocols and things that can go well and things that actually can ruin relationships. What do you say, Jer?
Well, I agree that there should be a lot of the Take Two family who have had this experience or know someone who has. And so if you have, if you've gotten, a little bit of a pickle from texting before, we would love to hear about that. You don't have to go into all the details, but there are people listening. We always say what you share on this show will impact others. So please be an influencer, if we can put it that way, and join the show today at 833-288-EWTN, 833-288-3986.
On this wonderful feast day of St. Bernard of Clairvaux, great saint, we just always ask all of the saints and angels to be around us and with us during these wonderful broadcasts. But we know that you usually get prompted by the Spirit. The right people come forth of the Take Two family and make those phone calls to have this episode be the best it can be. Now, you don't have to be Catholic to call in. It's super easy. Matt Gabinski's on the phones waiting to answer your call at 833-288-EWTN, 833-288-3986. Michael's at the controls. Ace is on social media. Jerry and I are waving to everybody. You guys got the chats going. I can see it actually right now, the chats are moving along nicely, so that's wonderful. But the topic today is, the downside of texting, too fast. And a lot of people, they say that within 8 seconds, people will respond to a text. So that's pretty fast. And maybe you want to get everything done. You don't want them accumulating in the inbox of your phone. So you just start sending back texts real fast, and then you realize, oops, I sent that to the wrong person. Now what do I do? And let's all, we can also talk about the unfortunate situation of what we've heard about drunk texting. I've heard that people who are intoxicated who have sent texts, it has ruined relationships, ruined their work. Because they've sent a text to their boss. Has that ever happened to you? Now, if you don't want to use your real name, we understand. You don't want to out yourself. We get it. So just give us your confirmation name or a name that you wish you have always had, and we'll happily address you by that first name. But Jerry, as you can tell, you hear about these. In fact, there's a lot of shows on TV that make fun of this idea of texting gone wrong. Mm-hmm. But it really is a serious thing.
It is, yeah, and we hope that you will have something to share about this. Maybe you've been on the receiving end of a text that somebody maybe inadvertently sent to you. How did you react? How did you respond? Did you ignore it? Did you text them back and say, I think this was meant for somebody else? Or what I'd love to hear from you, like Debbie and I will share probably in a moment, I definitely have my protocol or my procedure that I go through several steps before I send a text message to anyone. And that is, Debbie, I look at, I write it first, I read it over again and maybe a couple of times, and then I look again to double check to see, okay, this is going to the person that I intend for it to go to. So I'm very, very cautious about, maybe overly cautious about that. But Take Two family, how about you? When you are involved in text messaging, social media, things like this, are you overly cautious? Talk about how you make sure that you don't get yourself in one of these jams. 833-288-EWTN, 833-288-3986.
And if you don't have time to wait a little bit online to come on air with us, then please, you can always text us. You text the letters EWTN. We're talking about texting today. You text the letters EWTN to 58177. You wait for our response. Then you text us your first name and your little short story about texting gone wrong, and just know that message and data rates may apply. So as you were talking, Jerry, about you double and triple checking your text messages. Right. I was sitting here just saying the act of contrition and apologizing to God because I was the one who got you onto texting. I apologize.
Well, you were actually. I just resisted texting as long as I possibly could. I think it's one of those things that is presented to us by the advances made in technology, and we may like them or dislike them or think, well, this is silly. If you need to talk to me, call me, or email me or something. But just like everybody else, I have become very much involved in texting as a way of communication. So. And Debbie you were the person who I don't know how you did it. Was it talking on the phone? You said, hey, you got to do this, or maybe it was because you just started text bombing me or something.
No, we were on a pledge drive in California. I remember it vividly. And I said to you, it's so much harder to just pick up the phone and call you. Can I just text you these quick comments or things that we got to do? And then you started responding. And then we started with those. Remember, we did the Bitmojis and we had so much fun. And then that was fun to do those things. And then you were hooked.
I went kicking and screaming, but I'm a text aficionado now, like many of you. That's our topic today on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie and you. It is your show, folks. Without you, there is no show. Debbie and I could talk about this for the whole 55 minutes, but you don't want to hear that. We want the world to hear your experiences of texting gone wrong. Now what? Maybe you've sent or received a text message that was perhaps sent in haste, or as Debbie said, by somebody who was not maybe thinking clearly at the time, or maybe
intoxicated.
Or perhaps you've been on the receiving end of one of those texts. I actually was probably about 6 months ago. I won't go into all the details, but it was one of those things that I didn't even. Actually, I just responded very briefly, and never really heard back from the other person. So
really, it wasn't me, was it?
No, it wasn't you. But I'm just inclined to let something like that go because I'm thinking this person probably feels horrible right now, So I'm not going to add to their, horrible self-reflection on this incident.
Right. Okay, so tomorrow's show, Jerry, is My Marriage is Falling Apart. Okay, that's what we're going to be talking about. But, let's talk about this too. Have you ever had a text fight with your spouse? That's a problem too. So we can talk about that leading into tomorrow's show. So many ways we can cover this. Texting gone wrong. Now what? Please call us 833-288-EWTN, 833-288-3986. We'll be right back.
The Immaculate Heart of Mary signifies the great purity and love of the heart of the Blessed Virgin Mary for God. It points us to her profound interior life, where she experienced both joys and sorrows, yet remained faithful, as we too are called to do. August is dedicated as the month of devotion to the Immaculate Heart of Mary. Consider doing something special for Our Lady. Enroll in the Brown Scapular, wear a miraculous medal, begin praying the Angelus or the Memorare daily. You can find art, medals, pendants, prayer cards, and more devoted to Our Lady at EWTNRC.com.
The EWTN radio listener comment line is open right now for you. If you've got a question or comment about what you hear on EWTN radio, we'd love to hear it. Call 205-795-5773. We'd also like to know how our programming has impacted your life or the life of someone you know. That number again, 205-795-5773. And thank you for listening to EWTN Radio.
This is Colleen Kelly Mast. Join me for practical, faith-based advice on a variety of family and personal issues on Mast Appeal. Saturday morning, 9 Eastern on EWTN Radio.
Helping build strong Catholic families.
This is EWTN Radio.
Well, a lot of you have something to say about this, so it is a phenomenon that has struck a nerve with the Take Two family today. Texting gone wrong. Now what? We're talking about texting, or really we can include other means of social media and communication as well. Voicemail messages, Facebook posts, X posts, things like that. We're talking about, maybe inadvertently, or maybe even on purpose. You said something, and then after a while, maybe you just felt like, oops, maybe I'm a little too far with that. Or perhaps someone else did, and you were a little, shaken up by that. 833-288-EWTN. 288-3986. You know that we are a praying family here. We always say that on Take Two. And one of the prayers we love is the Rosary. And EWTN brings you the Holy Rosary twice a day. And we've been doing that for over 30 years. Just think about the prayers that have been lifted up to God over those decades. You can tune in every morning at 5 Eastern Time for Mother Angelica, and every evening at 9:30 Eastern for Father Benedict Groeschel, only right here on EWTN Radio.
You got me thinking of all these past circumstances where I've had texting gone wrong. And, I was thinking about with my interactions with Marty, because I used to travel a lot, and it would be like two ships passing in the night, right? He would be on the road with his work. And so we do a lot of texting, and you can have a lot of miscommunication with that. And you can't really put a lot of emotion in texting. And so it could become a problem. We stopped doing that. We picked up the phone. But then they started this new rule in Arizona where you can't talk on the phone while you're driving. So now we don't talk at all. It works out better. Okay, Naomi's up first, Springfield, Virginia, on the Guadalupe Radio Network. Naomi, hi, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
I just want to share some of my experience. Sometimes they don't deliver my messages. And one time my car broke down. I texted my brother the address that he can come and help me, and he didn't get the message until like an hour later. I have to call him and give him the address. And also, I used to work for the government. I think they targeted me, and when I saved my phone, the phone numbers, like when I wrote down the name of the person, like mom, and the other day I pushed the button mom, and it's somebody else.
So now, when your car was broke down, Naomi, did you then turn to a phone call or something, or did you just wait? I mean, that would be a long time to wait with a car broken down. How did you proceed after you knew, or you figured your text wasn't going through?
Oh, I called. Yeah, I called my brother.
Yeah.
And get it. Yeah.
Naomi, it's interesting you said that, because in general texting, when you're texting somebody at work or even, somebody like your spouse or a family member, but this was an emergency situation because your car broke down. But I don't rely on texting at all. I have found it to be really problematic for that exact reason. Naomi, I have sent texts for work-related situations, and you don't get a message back for an hour or two, and it's really it can cause a lot of problems. It can slow things down, and so now I consider so many things an emergency, and I just pick up the phone instead of texting for that reason. But I'm right with you. It is such a pain and it could be a danger. And it was and in your situation with the car breaking down, it could be a very serious, dangerous situation. But that's a difficult thing, Jerry, when somebody doesn't get your text messages for 2 to 3 hours later.
Yeah. No, it could be a real bad situation depending on the circumstances. Naomi, anything else you wanted to share about your take on this?
Yeah, that's yes, and also that sometimes they can mess up your address book.
Yeah.
Yeah, you meant to call somebody or text somebody, but then they change the name of the phone number. All right. Thank you, and have a nice day.
Have a nice day, Naomi. God bless you.
Thank you. Yeah,
Well,
but that's good points there.
With all the advances in technology, I mean, we live in a world that is just it can be so cool, the things we can do with technology. And then at the same time, it can be, it can work against us. It can be problematic, like Naomi was saying. It could just simply not work. This morning during orientation here at the seminary with the new guys, our academic, dean of academics was giving a presentation, or wanted to give a presentation. And we have these fancy new, all these video systems set up in all of the classrooms, and it just didn't work. He wanted to give a PowerPoint presentation. We moved to another classroom and it worked, but the point is, Naomi was saying, it could mess up.
You're dependent on it.
Yeah, we get dependent on it, and if it doesn't work, we're like, now what do we do?
Right, you're lost. Has this ever happened to you where, all your phone numbers are logged into your phone, and like when your phone goes down, like what do you do? Because nobody memorizes phone numbers anymore.
That's right. Yeah.
I mean, it really is a strange world we live in sometimes. Okay, so I am not buying this, you guys. You're going to tell me that no one out there in the Take Two family, you've never had a situation or an issue or an argument that has resulted from a text gone wrong? Come on. I mean, Marty and I just last week had that happen. We had a miscommunication on texting. So we want to hear the details. So call in. You don't have to be Catholic to call in. 833-288-EWTN. That's 833-288-3986. It's very easy to have that kind of unfortunate result to texting because texting is going way too quickly. Let's face it. So you had to have nobody's perfect at texting. Come on. So all right, there you go. There goes
Nobody's
the phone.
phone is perfect either.
Exactly. Come on. We can't be the only ones. Let's hear what Janine has to say in Pensacola, Florida. Jerry on Sirius XM 130. Hi, Janine. Welcome to the program.
Hi, Debbie. I love your show.
Well, we love you. Thank you so much.
I just had a comment to make, and I made it my policy many years ago, even before cell phones, to never put something negative in writing. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so, especially now with texting, I think that's an important kind of my own personal rule that I follow because, it can go viral if it's a text. Yep. And if once it's in writing, it's permanently there. Mm-hmm. And anything that you were going to say, if it, any negative can be turned into a positive and still mean the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean by that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but Janine, let me just share something real quickly because I know Jerry wants to comment too, and you can continue on with sharing your practices in this area. But I have adopted the exact same thing for Facebook. If you go on my Facebook page, Debbie Georgiani, you will not find anything negative. I refuse to do it because I have seen it go, like you just said, viral, where they lift what somebody else says and then they spin it in a certain direction, and it is just so damaging to that person's reputation. So I have adopted the same thing. Now, I haven't done that with texting simply because I have a lot of family members and friends, so we text a lot. And I will tell you, there have been some not nice things in text messages sometimes when, there's a little bit of a, a tension situation going on with family. But you are spot on because those things are permanent. And believe you me, in my family, my relatives are very quick to pick up a text from a year or two ago and say, do you remember what you said a year ago? So, yeah, I agree with you. I'm going to start to be like you, Janine, with texting as well. But Jerry, any comments?
I would agree completely. I don't like to put anything negative in writing either. Nothing criticizing anybody, nothing negative. So I think to that end, Janine and Debbie, what I usually do is if I'm feeling sort of worked up over something or a little bit agitated, I will pause. I'll just take a few deep breaths, maybe say a prayer and say, the Holy Spirit, show me how I should respond to this. And speaking of not putting anything, negative in writing, I think, Debbie, what we try and do on this show is affirm as well, and just be, affirming of others and really showing the dignity and the worth that everybody has. And, we attempt to really try and stay away from negative when we do this show as well.
Right. So what do you think, Janine? Are we on the same path as you?
Yes, I totally agree. We're all on the same page.
I know, and it's good to be on the same page because have you guys ever watched those crime shows where you're trying to figure out, who did it, who did it, and who the murderer is and who this is? They always go to text messaging. Have you ever noticed that lately? Every single crime show, they're like, we pulled all the text messages and we found it. We traced it back to this day, and I'm like,
the police really do that. That's one of the first things they look at is your phone.
Exactly. So what we put on our phone is permanent, and it actually could come back to haunt us in various ways. I know in relationships, Jerry and I do life coaching. We have the life coaching ministry, Stand Tall. And I will tell you, we have a lot of clients that have told us that texting has really messed up their relationship. Any comments on that, Janine, before we let you go?
Well, I'm sure it could. That's why I've made it my policy to never put anything negative in writing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're wise, Janine. You've just shared that wisdom with a lot of people who probably agree with you completely, but haven't developed that practice yet. But they're probably going to change the way they approach texting now, perhaps, at least in the sense of not putting anything negative in those texts. Janine, thank you so much. Calling from Pensacola. Thank you. Please call the show anytime. We love hearing from you, and we appreciate you being part of this conversation today on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. As we talk about texting gone wrong, now what? How do you approach? Let's just get very general here. How do you approach texting in the first place? Do you like it? Did you go kicking and screaming into it like I did? Have you sent texts that maybe presented a little bit of a challenge, a difficult situation? Maybe you were on the receiving end of that. Or Debbie, here's something that what happens in my own mind, which is probably just a result of my own thinking perception of myself or whatever. But if I send a text and an hour goes by and 2 hours go by and a day goes by, I find myself thinking, what are they thinking about me? Kind of like, are they upset? I didn't say anything to upset them, so what's with the delay? Sometimes I worry about, not very often, but just with certain people.
Probably me, because I text within 8 seconds. So if I don't get back to you in a couple hours, you're probably like, maybe she's gone home to meet the Lord.
I just figure you're coaching or something.
Right. But that's a good point. So if there's a delay in a response, then you could almost think, what's happened. That is very interesting. Okay, so we'd love to hear from you. We're talking about texting gone wrong, and now what? 833-288-EWTN, 833-288-3986. You can use your confirmation name if you don't want to out anybody. We just want to hear the details, not because we're nosy. The details help us, get a better a path in life, a better program for us that works better as a Christian, like Janine shared. I mean, that is great what she said. No negative writing in texts, and I say no social media posts, no negative. Let's all go positive, right? So, Jerry, let's hear what Ann has to say in Detroit, Michigan on Sirius XM 130. Hi, Ann. Hello, Ann. Are you? Yes, hi, Ann. Yeah, Hello? Go right ahead.
Welcome. You are on the air. Go right ahead and share what you were going to share about texting.
Oh, okay. Hello?
Yeah, I think you might, if you're listening to the radio, and turn that down, because there is what we call a broadcast delay. So you're going to hear what we're saying now in about 7 seconds. Yes. Hi, Ann. Go ahead.
Hi. I kind of jumped in on your show, so I don't know if this has been mentioned, but like with a particular family member, I feel like I have to call and make an text and make an appointment to talk, on the phone. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. It just really irritates me if I just pick up the phone and call. 9 times out of 10, it's not a good time. And I really kind of wanted to talk to this family member, and what was my sister, and then it wasn't a good time for her, but she's constantly busy. And I kind of persisted on wanting to talk to her, and then she got into, well, you're not respectful of my time. I'll call you back when I can, blah, blah. So anyway, we got past that, but it's just whenever I just feel like I have to call and make an appointment to talk on the phone.
Yeah, you're talking about something that I think, really concerns a lot of us, Ann, and that is we used to pick up the phone and just call somebody, cold out of the blue. Now I can say myself personally, I hesitate to do that because of what you're saying, Ann. Is this a good time for them? Are they going to answer the call? And maybe it's a little bit of a softer entry into a phone call later by sending a text now and trying to set something up. So I can relate to what she's saying, Debbie.
Oh, I have that. Me too. I have that with family members too, Ann. I have to text family members and say, hey, when can you talk? Is there a good time? And so we text to make an appointment too to call. But I think it has a lot more to do with the fact that we have become so awkward about talking to each other. Have you ever noticed that when you talk to people lately, especially if you haven't in a long time, there's a sense of like a person doesn't know when to end the conversation or what to say at the end. It's very interesting, the awkwardness of the ability to talk on the phone. Way back when we were kids, I'm going to be 60 this year. When we were kids, we'd pick up the phone, say hello, hey, talk to you later, bye, hang up the phone. You knew you were going to probably talk to them again. So there wasn't this really strange communication back and forth. I agree with you, Ann. But we're right with you. Same things happen to us as well with family members and friends and coworkers too, Jerry.
And thank you for the participation in the show today. We appreciate that. Talking all about texting today. Good, bad. Do you do it? Do you hate it? Have you gotten yourself in trouble for maybe sending a text that you wish you hadn't sent? Or have you received one like that? 833-288-3986.
Tomorrow morning on the Sunrise Morning Show.
We'll talk Bible foods with Rita Heichenfeld from About Eating. We'll also catch up with pastoral counselor Kevin Prendergast and talk to Gary Machuda from Hands On Apologetics. Plus all the latest news, weather, sports, and everything else you need to start your day a better way.
The Sunrise Morning Show, tomorrow at 6 a.m. Eastern on EWTN Radio.
Welcome to Catholic Blitz, and in the hot seat today is Father Ken Briganti. Are you ready?
I am.
Your question is, what is the Immaculate Conception in 1 minute?
That always caused confusion for Catholics because it happens December 8th that we celebrate this feast, and so everybody just assumes it's talking about our Blessed Lord, which is March 25th was his conception, right? So December 8th is Mary's conception in the womb of her mother, St. Anne. Mary was preserved from original sin from the moment of her conception. Why? Because she was to be the mother of God. She was to give a pure human nature to the Savior who was going to redeem us on the cross. So therefore, he could never be under contagion of sin. So what happens is there's no time in God. So God just prefigured the redemption and applied it to Mary's soul. And that's how we celebrate her Immaculate Conception.
You really blitzed it today.
Thank you.
Come back again for more Catholic Blitz.
Get your children and grandchildren together. Class is in session. Join Tompkin, the Catholic cowboy, and his sidekick Blaze to learn all about the key words that make our Catholic faith so special. Visit EWTN.com/kids for more.
Hi, this is Janet Benkovic-Williams. Please join us for Women of Grace tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern here on EWTN Radio. Now, back to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie.
Well, we are having quite a conversation today. As always, because of you, the Take Two family, this is the show that is all about you, and you make it what it is every day. And today's topic is texting gone wrong, or whatever you would like to weigh in about texting. If you do you use it? Do you prefer simply phone calls? I was sharing at the start of the show how Debbie kind of began texting me, and I was like, I don't want to text, until finally now I do it with the frequency that everybody else does. But also, texting cannot capture maybe, mood or emotions or things like that. We try and do that with punctuation and emojis and things like that. But have you ever texted or received a text that was maybe a situation gone wrong? You'd like to share how you dealt with that, or how you are super careful before you post anything, texting or on social media. 833-288-EWTN, 833-288-3986.
Okay, we're going to go to the great state of Nebraska. Camille's there and on Sirius XM 130. Hi, Camille. Welcome.
Hi, thanks. Good to talk with you. I think I missed one call when I called in, but using emojis and tone of voice is why I'm really careful. Mm-hmm. I text out the word ha-ha, so they know that I'm not yelling at them or
LOL.
It's not a serious comment.
Right.
Yeah. I usually make an appointment with someone if it's a serious topic, like, hey, can we talk? Because when texts start going back and forth, it takes longer to text than it does to just pick up the phone and talk about it in like 3 minutes.
I totally agree. I'm always amazed. I have to just say this. I'm amazed at those that can text so fast that you get like a whole book back on a text. And you're like, how did they do this so quickly? I mean, have you ever noticed that? And then you're like, okay, this is ridiculous. I'm just going to pick up the phone and call them because I cannot go back and forth like this. It's like a typing class from high school. Yeah, I'm right with you, Camille.
Exactly. It might be my age because I'm in my upper 50s, but I cannot just, like, seriously, like you said, text a book in like 12 seconds or less.
I know. It's amazing. It's like I do feel that those people have a great art and gift to be able to do that. I just can't. I have so many typos. That's the other thing, too. Do you correct the typos in your texts? I know that some people... Do you do that?
I do, but every once in a while, the autocorrect, that's another problem, where it picks a word for you. And then you look back at the text and you're like, what? You know? So you send the word you meant, not, you know, this, not that. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, because you're like, what? Oh, gosh. So.
Well, even on the subject of emojis, I'm careful down to the point of picking the right emoji, and I'll hover my arrow over them because you've got the smiley faces that are plain with just a grin. You got the ones with the teeth showing. You got the ones with the squinted eyes. You've got the ones with the little hands held out at the bottom. And so I'm very careful about which one of those I pick as well. And then after that, if you've gone back and forth enough times, you've used up all the ones you want to use. So then you're just left with typing LOL or the keyboard smiley face sideways.
Well, have you ever real quick? I mean, those emojis are very tiny. Come on. I mean, I know I've had eye troubles this whole past year, but those emojis are tiny. And one time I sent an emoji and it was supposed to be like a smiling face, and the person wrote back, "Why are you crying? Why are you so upset?" So, Camille, we can actually...
My eyes aren't the greatest, and those emojis are little. And I'm like,
they are.
Is that really what I think it is? Or, because sometimes they are, like, totally the opposite of what you wanted.
Right. We could actually have do a whole complete show on TV all about technology and texting and relationships. Because, I mean, when you think about it, there's so much material here. I mean, people are relying, like Jerry said earlier, on technology so much. I mean, we're so dependent on it for our relationships, our work situations, anything we do just to be able to go through life. I mean, there's a lot of material here that we can cover, but this is actually very eye-opening, Camille. Thank you so much. We appreciate the contribution today.
Thank you. I love your guys' show. Take care.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
We love you too. Thank you.
Thanks, Camille. Okay, up next is Jim in Moorhead, Minnesota, listening on Real Presence Radio. Hi, Jim. Good to have you with us.
Yes. What I was going to call for, sometimes, an emoji goes to somebody that you didn't think you were going to send it to. A few years back, we were having flooring done in our basement, and I had been texting back and forth with him about different things about the flooring. Well, one time I thought I had my wife. I was texting my wife, and I just texted her, "I love you." And the flooring guy kind of came back and says, "Well," he said, "that's kind of nice, but I think you probably meant to send that to your wife."
Oh my goodness, Jim, I'm giggling because that happened to me. I was sending my husband a love emoji, and I sent it to someone else at work, and they came back. Wow, they said, "Wow, I didn't know you felt that way," and I was like, "I really don't," but. Jim, that is hilarious. Did you guys laugh about it?
Yeah, next time I called him on the phone, and he says, "So is the feeling still there?" I said, and I started laughing. I said, "Well, I guess you got to be kind of careful as to who you're texting, because that one I told my wife about it, and she goes, "Oh, for crying out loud, honey!" I said, "I know."
Oh,
that's why,
goodness.
Jim, at the start of the show, you may or may not have been listening, but I shared how I literally double, triple, quadruple check everything. I read my texts over again, and then I look at on my phone, it's got the little, circle with the initials of the person in there, and so I make doubly, triply sure that it's going to the right person and that I'm saying what I want to say. But even with those precautions, Jim, I have made some mishaps myself before in texting. So I don't know if there's no vigilance that's too vigilant, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Right. Jim,
well, I guess it was a positive response anyway. So I guess we were all able to laugh about it afterwards.
Yeah. Jim, I have to tell you, you should wait till we do our best clean joke show and you should share that story because I think it's hilarious. That is so funny. This is what I was saying earlier, that there's so much comedy material here with technology that we could have a whole show on TV. They probably do, right? They probably do have a sitcom or something.
If you can think about it, there's a reality show about it. Go ahead, Jim.
I have called in on your joke one, and that my joke that time was when a person had a wish and he wanted to go to Hawaii, but he didn't want to fly, and he wanted to build a bridge. And the genie says, "Well, come on, can you give me something else?" He said, "That's pretty complex." And I says, "Okay, well then, why don't you just have it so I can understand women?" And he says, "Oh, well, do you want that to be a 2 or a 4-lane highway?"
That's good.
Awesome.
I remember the day you called in with that one, Jim.
I love it.
Awesome.
Thanks, Jim. You just brightened our day. We appreciate it. Take care. Call us again for sure. That was great.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, we got full phone lines.
Yeah. Well, this is a topic a lot of people have something to say about. If you are just tuned in to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie and you on EWTN Radio, today we're talking about the whole art of texting gone wrong, texting something you wish you hadn't. Maybe you texted something to the wrong person. Maybe you received something of that nature. Do you take those precautions that I was talking about? How do you even approach texting? Do you like to do it? Do you not like to do it? 833-288-EWTN, 833-288-3986. And up next will be Lydia, who is listening to Guadalupe Radio Network in Midland, Texas today. Hi, Lydia.
Hey, good morning. How y'all guys doing today?
Good. Better now that you called.
Well, I just want to say I hope I didn't scare you when I saw you July 19th.
Not at all. No, it was wonderful to see you.
I just want to let you know,
Lydia.
The texting bill, I don't trust the microphone no more because I trusted it, and I just said whatever, and I sent it to my son, and my son calls me back, "Mom, do you know what you just texted?" I said, "Well, I microphoned it." And he says, "Mom, it's a lot of boo-boos." And I just want to say I don't trust the microphone anymore. Now I have to reread it before I send it out because I didn't get in any trouble, but he thought it was funny, and I thought, well, that's what happens when you trust the microphone.
Right.
He didn't understand me.
That is true, though. I mean, everything is so sensitive now, Lydia. And I do think that does make people anxious and nervous about communication. And that's why it was so great to see you at the 25th anniversary of the Guadalupe Radio Network. So I always think in person is the best way to interact. I've always said that. And this technology is the way we live now.
Right. I treasure my picture with you because that lady took a picture of you and me, but I didn't get one of Jerry because Jerry was so busy.
Sorry
but anyway,
about that,
I looked at Jerry and I said, "Are you shocked to see me?" Because sometimes you see a person after you see him hear him on the radio and you think, "This is her."
Well, you're beautiful.
Oh, you're so sweet. Can I tell you a real quick joke?
Sure.
Okay, sure.
I just wanted to say this because I saw this long time ago, and I think about it all the time because there was a priest that was telling this old lady, you need to start thinking about the hereafter. And she says, I do. I come in the room, and I'm thinking, what am I hereafter?
What am I hereafter? Okay, that was great. I love it.
Yeah.
I got to tell my friend that was amazing. Lydia, you are special to us. Thank you so much. We appreciate you weighing in on this topic today.
Thanks, Lydia.
I'm praying for you to stay well because we love you, and we pray for you too, Jerry. Hang in, be strong because we need you because so many things are happening, and we desperately need you, Jerry. God bless you.
Thank you. Well, thank you, Lydia. God bless you. With your prayers and all those of the Take Two family, I will persevere to the altar, good Lord willing. hopefully in a little less than 3 years. Lydia, thank you so much. She brought up the whole topic of microphones, Debbie, and I'm reminded of that saying in our business that sometimes is hung up on the wall of an on-air room at a radio station or a studio. It says, if you don't want it on the air, don't say it in this room.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because the microphone could be open at any time.
That's
and
true.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
very early in my radio career, I could have gotten myself into trouble a couple times forgetting that maxim, but I didn't. So thanks be to God.
Well, it's true. It could be a career killer, really. You know, I mean, something goes out there on the air that you didn't intend. I mean, that's very true. Before we get back to the phones, let me just share that if you missed any portion of this wonderful broadcast, you can catch it the encore tonight, take 2 at midnight Eastern time. Okay, so if you can't sleep, we'll happily lull you to sleep with with the wonderful encore. Now you're going to have fun. You're going to laugh and be with the Take 2 family, and it'll make you feel connected. So it encores tonight, Take 2 at midnight.
I can't think of a better way to get a good night's sleep than by going to sleep to Take 2.
Yeah. Do you want to hear something funny? I have to tell you, when I was having the really massive eye troubles, I had EWTN on the whole entire day and night because I just needed to stay connected, right? Because I was having all these eye troubles and I couldn't sleep. And we came on the encore, and I'm like, "Are you kidding me? I have to listen to myself."
Made your eyes feel a whole lot better, probably, huh?
Yeah, but it was fun. It was fun connecting with the Take 2 family because I think they're the coolest family ever. They're amazing.
Yeah. Okay, John in Toledo, hang on. We will get to you. Jay in Indiana was just right up before you, listening on Sirius XM 130 today. Hi, Jay. Thanks for calling the program.
Thank you for having me. Really enjoyed the show. It's a topic that's kind of I don't want to say near and dear to my heart, but very applicable. But many years ago, in my drinking days, thank God I've been sober for over 13 years. I had one of my brothers, and I had a very contentious relationship most of our lives. And to try to condense this, he had done some things that were very mean and manipulative, and exploited and took advantage of some family members financially, and had done some things to me personally over the years. Well, Facebook was relatively in its infancy, but had been around for a few years, and I reluctantly got a Facebook page, and he had one. Well, long story short, he took off in the middle of the night and moved to another state without saying goodbye, and I had fixed an issue that he had caused with our aunt, and had found out some things that had gone on, and I had been drinking this particular night and decided that I was going to call him. Well, he wouldn't answer the phone. So, I was very hurt that he moved. We had kind of patched up our relationship, and then when he took off, it reopened a lot of the old wounds. And I just penned a very lengthy private message on Facebook. Thank God it was private. But what happened was I told him about himself and said some things that were very, very hurtful. I found out no response from him, and I found out a few days later from his daughter that I had put him into a state of depression. He took his Facebook page down. He was basically suicidal. He had to seek counseling. She put the blame back on me, which I was wrong for what I did. But I was given the opportunity at a family wedding to approach him and apologize several years later. But as a result, there's several things that could be unpacked from this, but as a result, it has caused irreparable harm to our relationship. Even though we're somewhat civil, it has just driven a wedge through our relationship and also the family as a whole. And it just brought to mind today, listening to you and some of the callers, that picking up the phone, calling. If you don't get someone, maybe leave a voicemail. Wait till you can talk, at least, if not face to face, at least talk on the phone, because you lose the voice inflections, you lose the emotion, you lose so much in just a canned message. And And especially, if you're struggling with some substance issues and you happen to be intoxicated, you say things that you usually regret much later. And it taught me a valuable lesson, for one, to stop abusing alcohol, and for another thing, just don't put anything negative in writing. I like what you said about that, as well as the lady caller earlier. It's just the world is full of negativity anyway, and the old axiom: if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. But I could have used much better judgment in that situation with my brother, and just maybe if someone is struggling with family issues, maybe this could be a catalyst to approach things from a more godly perspective, and to wait for an opportunity that would present itself to maybe do things a little bit more civilly.
Yeah. Well, Jay, you've said so much in this call, and we thank you for stepping up and sharing with the world and really educating us and informing us and alerting us to what could really happen in a relationship. And our hearts really break for you and your brother that you went through that. But you said that the relationship is civil, and it's working towards a better time for you and your brother. I put you and your brother in our prayer book because we want you guys to be back together as brothers, completely, where you feel super comfortable with each other. But Jay, I'm sure you've done this already. And by the way, you said 13 years sober. Way to go. Sir, you're doing that. Is fabulous. Yeah, that's amazing. And but you were so spot on and so honest about what happened. I know you probably have done this already, but have you ever thought about truly reaching out to your brother and saying, my intention was never to push you to that level of pain. And if I could take it back, I would. And I'm sure you probably have said this in various ways, but just to be super clear with him that was not your intention, and really ask for him to have mercy in this situation, and really, ask obviously for the forgiveness of that, but then also for the chance to make things better. Because I do think down deep that for your brother's sake too, he shouldn't be holding on to anything if he is about like what went wrong with that exchange. So it would really free both of you so that you can come back together as family. What do you say to that, Jay, real quickly?
I really appreciate that, and you hit right on the nail. I was able to do that at one of our nephew's weddings, and we had some emotional time and hugged it out, and
oh, good.
Moved on for the most part. But it's still, words are irretrievable, and the damage done is just created a little bit of a distance. But I've asked forgiveness of him, and also, for our Lord and Savior to forgive me and to give me courage to continue to do the right thing and to treat relationships moving forward in a much more special way, and to be more discerning in the words that I use, and to be more considerate and compassionate towards the other person's feelings.
Yeah.
Well, Jay, I can just say this. I hear the humility in your heart, and you've obviously learned a lot from this, and I'm with Debbie praying for, complete reconciliation with this brother. There are no relationships more important than our family relationships. And I echo what Debbie said on the congratulations on the sobriety, that, when we do the right thing, that's when God's grace flows in and through us and into our lives, our situations, our circumstances, our relationships. And so God's grace is going to be at work, Jay, with you and your brother and your entire family. I just really know, I feel that. I
feel it too. And Jay, one last thing. Every one of us has made mistakes, major mistakes, small mistakes. We've all have a past, right? So we serve a God of the here and now. So what we're doing right now is pleasing to God. And what you just did today, you helped many souls today with your story. So thank you, sir.
You're welcome, and thank you for taking my call.
You betcha. Glad to do it. All right, over to John in Toledo, listening on Annunciation Radio today. John, thanks for calling. You will probably wrap up the show with your call. Welcome.
Hi there. I want to weigh in on the texting issue.
Sure.
I had a very I had a very, very big wake-up call early last year. I got involved in a group text with my family. There was several family members on the text call. And I made a comment about the November 2024 election, and I gave my opinion about what I wanted to happen. And my brother in Columbus got very upset with me. He didn't like my comment, and he came back with a very sarcastic, which to me was very rude. And I thought to myself later, I never should have brought up the my preference for the presidential election. And then right after that, I realized it's better for family harmony never to talk about politics again. So not too long after that, I had a nice discussion with my brother, and I said, I'm really sorry that I upset you. And he said, yeah. He said, let's, for the sake of family harmony, let's not talk about politics anymore. And I agreed. And the rest of my family agreed, too. And they said, it's not worth it. It's just not worth it. And we never brought it up again.
Yeah, well, thanks be to God, John, that you had that healing of that situation right away. I mean, this, as you know, John and Debbie, things like this can fester for a very long time and really spiral out of control quickly. So thanks be to God. And, you're right. I mean, like with my brother, I have 3 brothers, and we all kind of know where we are politically, socially, culturally, so we're a little more free to, to say what we're thinking. But, within some families, we're not going to have that complete harmony and agreement necessarily, John, and you're pointing this out to us. So Debbie, a good lesson from John today.
It is. And I have to tell you, John, real quickly, I struggle with group texting all the time because of that exact reason. When you are addressing like one person or you're just putting something out there, whether it's about a political thing or money or family dynamics or something of that nature, somebody will always respond back, and then you're like, okay, can we just take this offline and just the 2 of us talk about it? Do we have to bring in the whole family? Do we have to bring in everybody on the group text? And then you feel like everybody else is just watching to see this food fight happen. And it's just, it really, I stay away from group texting now. I do not like it. And after hearing your story, John, I'm definitely going to stay away from it because I know that things like that are going to happen to me. So, John, thank you so much for sharing today. That really helped. And Jerry's right. You finished the discussion on texting, and we got to group texting, which we said that was one of the points we wanted to hit, Jerry.
Yeah. John, will you call again sometime?
I will. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks, John.
Great job. Great contribution to the show, as all of them were. Yeah, we are simply out of time. Can't take any more calls right now, but we do invite you to keep the conversation going with us. You can always email take2@EWTN.com. That's take with the number 2 or the word TWO spelled out. Take2@EWTN.com. I'd love to hear from any of you personally. If you ever want to check in with me, how things are going at the seminary, send me prayer intentions. You can do that at seminaryjerry@gmail.com.
Sounds great. Okay, tomorrow's show is we're talking about marriages that are really crumbling, falling apart. You can use your confirmation name, to protect your privacy, but it's important that we talk about this so we can strengthen and support marriages tomorrow. That's tomorrow's show. We want to thank the show team for today. Matt, Michael, Ace, great job. Thank you to all the affiliates that carry Take 2 Live. You give an opportunity for your listeners to weigh in on the topics that we discuss. So that'll do it, you guys. For Jerry Usher, I'm Debbie Georgiani. Until tomorrow, have a beautiful and blessed day. We'll see you real soon.
Ave Maria in the afternoon with Dr. Marcus Peter. An engaging take on the church, culture, and current events.
Hi, I'm Marcus Peter. Tune in weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern as we examine the world around us, past and present, through the lens of faith from the heart of the church. So join me in conversation with our guests and call in with your questions.
Ave Maria in the afternoon with Dr. Marcus Peter. Today at 5 p.m. Eastern on EWTN Radio.